really something, wasn't it? It was actually a great experience all in all to be a part of such a different and wonderful event. So it's been a couple of days now since the actual wrestling night, and well, what a night. It was a hell of a lot of action and something that I haven't actually genuinely shot before, which just had me going throughout. And well, today I'm here to talk here about the new Sigma 12mm f1.4. When initially getting asked to do this lens, I made sure I actually got it into Fujifilm, because I think the APS-C lenses are really best showcased on one of the most popular brands there is right now for APS-C cameras, and that's of course Fuji. So let's get into my general experience of this absolute beauty of a lens, shall we? And it didn't actually start shooting at the wrestling. What I did with this was take it out as a sort of B-roll camera on the side, because ow!
Yes!
I thought it would be really good to try it out in a vlogging situation, which this lens is absolutely perfect for. Because for a while now, I've been thinking about which kind of Fuji camera I want to go for, because I want to diversify what I shoot with on a day-to-day basis. And I was kind of thinking between the XE5, which you can actually buy now, so link down below, or the XM5. And this one has actually finally, I believe, made my decision for me, because when it comes to the stuff that I do, I want to use this Fuji camera that I get for photography for the most part, but to have a capable vlogging style lens that also takes great images. I really was looking and kept looking and never really found anything in the kind of Fujifilm lens lineup, because although yes, they do wide angle lenses, there wasn't anything there that really suited what I wanted out of a vlogging camera, but also, a decent price point, decent aperture, and most importantly, a really decent size, because with this decision for a camera for me, I really wanted something nice and small, and this 12mm sold it for me. I am actually looking to get one at any point now.
Open challenge! Open challenge, giving people their first ever match! Do you know what that really is?
We'll come back to more of the exciting stuff a little bit later on, but now let's just do a close focus test as well as a sharpness test. Let's get to it. To give you a size comparison, this is the 12mm on the XM5, and then this is the 12mm on the XT50. Now, we did actually have a 13mm Viltrox in f1.4 used second-hand, and I wanted to check out the close focusing distance. So this is the photo with the Viltrox, and then this is the photo with the Sigma. We did actually also have a 12mm f2.8 manual focus in, and I wanted to match this up against the other ones as well, so we took both close focus photos as well as the wide general photo of the arcade as well to compare them all together. Let me know what you think down below. Next thing that I want to do is take all the images together and actually show you kind of what it is like for sharpness as well as a few other things. So let's start with the close focus. This is all of them going from the 13mm to the smyang on the right hand side, and then in the center there is the 12mm. What is quite evident here is that the new Sigma 12mm has much more contrast and has a little bit better kind of bokeh, as well as just looks a little bit nicer. You can also shoot just that little bit closer as well, which is a nice little benefit. The Viltrox, however, you can tell by the greens and the leaves, is just a little bit less saturated and almost just not quite as sharp. Still is pretty sharp, but it doesn't really hold up to the Sigma here. And then of course the smyang is shooting at f2.8, so it actually has a slightly more depth of field, so overall should be a little bit sharper, but when it comes to the bits in focus, I feel like the Sigma still comes over on top out of all three of them. Now let's have a look at an image that's shot down the arcade and a wider shot. There's a lot of lines here, so you can really see if there is much distortion. And for the most part, with all three lenses, they do perform really well in this retrospect, and there's not too much distortion in the actual images. What I did find interesting is that the Loca on the Sigma is more kind of magenta, and then the other two are actually kind of a blue tinge to the actual images. All have a pretty decent sharpness performance. I would say the Sigma comes out slightly more on top, and again with that extra little bit of contrast, I feel like the images look just a little bit better here. What you've got here is a 12mm, like You're watching this video, you're not surprised by me saying that in the slightest, and I don't actually blame you. But with that 12mm on an APS-C camera, you've got a 1.5 times crop, which actually does make this an 18mm f1.4 or 1.8, equivalent to a full frame lens. And with that is the perfect kind of wide angle for vlogging, in my opinion anyway, because I think 16 is a little bit too distorted. 20 is what I tend to shoot on my FX3, and 18 absolutely perfect. And that's, one of the reasons why I like this lens, and I will get it. The next reason is, of course, that f1.4. I want to make sure I have a nice, decent, low aperture, because the APS-C lineup of cameras don't necessarily do so well in low light performance. But with this, I was actually shooting inside of the wrestling area with little to no issue for, first of all, the performance of the lens, but then also, how fast it was reacting. The low depth of field was actually really quite nice, although wide angle, and I didn't necessarily get too many chances because of all the action to get nice and close. The next thing that's actually really important is the autofocus. And when it comes to Fujifilm, and initially, the autofocus is, I'm not expecting much from it again, because it's on a Fuji camera. Their autofocus isn't fantastic, but 9 times out of 10, it got the bits and pieces that I really wanted it to.
And looking for the shots to go here for B-roll, I came across this one, and if you have a look, it pretty much got everything I would have really wanted to get out of the shot. It focused far and then near, came in close when his butt was on the rail, and then went out again while she was coming in and running at him. Overall, performed really well.
I pretty much had it on a wide area focus, and I was using spot focus for the most part here and there to get the bits and pieces that I actually really wanted in focus, and it worked out pretty well. It's pretty decently priced, and you're not necessarily expecting Sigma art performance, but it is sharp where it counts and produces some really great images. What I would say this actually really impressed me is the photo, and I regret only taking one photo throughout the entire shoot, because I was a little bit obsessed with the other lens.
I'm referring to here the shoot with Ridley, which you're going to see in the other video if you decide to watch it at the end of this,
which is also getting released today, in the video you're also going to see on the channel, and that is of course the 200mm f2. But overall, really impressed with this. I used it predominantly as a vlogging lens. I shot a lot of the photos, and you know what, I even got asked back to shoot more because they liked the photos and the video that I produced out of this lens so much. And I found myself using this footage the most out of all the lenses that I actually shot that night. So the Sigma 12mm f1.4, what do you think about it? It's a really powerful lens that actually gives you really top tier performance for a sort of beginner orientated camera, or somebody that just wants something nice, light and small. This is an absolute beautiful size on the XM5 and also on the XE5. It pretty much performs where you want it to and gives you a nice compact form factor. It's great, absolutely love it, thoroughly recommend it. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, please like, follow, and subscribe if you want to see more. I do really like Sigma. I think they keep producing some of the best lenses I've seen on the market. And on the grand scheme of things, Fujifilm haven't released something this small at 12mm that's really good for just general vlogging, giving you a nice low aperture, super sharp, and just all around a great experience. You've seen the video, let me know what you think down below, and well, I'll look to see you next time.